Okay, so today is going to be a little different, sort of, kind of. Uh, I put it out there on the internet, on the Instagrams and whatnot, and the Facebooks, and the social media stuff. Send in questions, and I'll answer them a little bit more in depth. So that's what we're going to do this week. Could be anything about the marching arts. So that's going to be fun. We'll see how that goes. Good morning again. Daniel Valdez again. Pleasure and honor to talk to you. Whether you're on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Danpodcast, or you're on Google Podcast, or you're on Apple Podcast, or you're on Spotify, or the multitude of places where you can get this stupid little show. So thank you so much for listening. Appreciate it. Go like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Very quickly before we get to the questions. Awesome time over at the WGI Austin Regional. I was there all 2 days at Glenn and Rouse High School. Both programs knocked it out of the park. It was very enjoyable to attend and see people and meet people and stuff. That was awesome. Great stuff. Handed out some of Mama's salsa during the event. A couple lucky people got to experience that. And from what I hear, they are still alive. So that it's good stuff there. So let's continue. I'll call her back later. Gosh. Sorry. This is one of those things. It's what I get for recording this on my phone. Anyways, great time at WGI Austin. Awesome stuff. Thank you all so much for everybody who came up and said hello and all that fun stuff. Great. Good stuff. Awesome. Let's get to it. Questions and whatnot. And then we'll talk about WGI stuff at the very, 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 very end. But questions and stuff. I put it out on Facebook and Instagram. Hey, just send in questions. We'll answer them more in depth. Probably a little bit more opinionated than what you've been expecting or what you're come to expect over the last several years. Yes, it's been years since I've done this, so there you go. So here we go. Calling this Danpod Answers Questions, the DAQs. So you can see the stupid thumbnail of me at Grand Nationals. I believe that was prelims my senior year. If you're on the YouTube page, and if not, I'll probably post it somewhere on the internet. Okay, first question. Should the locations of certain BOA events be changed? By the way, these are all anonymous, just to, be anonymous. So there you go. Should the locations of certain BOA events be changed? No. I like where they are now. I really don't have very many complaints about it. I miss South Lake. The one time they had it at South Lake a couple of years ago, I think it was 2017. It was such a cool venue. Really neat. The band parents there were amazing. They had Jersey mics in the press box. Little things like that. It was a really, really awesome event. It just seemed like they were really on the ball with everything. It's a shame it's not there anymore. I understand why it's not there, but that's the way it goes. Pennington Field's good. A lot of Dallas programs know that area very intimately, whether they're playing a football game or they're doing some sort of local contest there during the year. They seem fine to me. Katy seems fine. Waco is hopefully going to be around for a very long time. I think it will be, considering that I think more and more people are going to sign up for it or have signed up for it this season. So that's pretty good. McAllen seems good. Midland's good. The West Texas programs are getting more and more receptive to it. I wish there was one out in El Paso, but there's a lot of back room stuff that kind of prevents that from happening, which is a shame, but whatever. It's the way it goes. DFW is good. Houston's good. Of course, San Antonio's great. Austin is the way it is. I've heard people in the past go, oh, why don't we have it at, how come this event isn't at UT? Well, kiddos, the reason it's not at UT is because, UT doesn't want their precious field tampered with. That's reserved for mediocre football teams. So there's my terrible sports opinion, but I don't care. Should they be changed? I like the way they are now. If you had asked me that about 5 years ago, I'd probably have a different answer. Next question. Question for Danpod Asks Questions. With circuits like WJI percussion and winds being popularized in the high school realm, how do you think that will affect BOA show design, or do you just see it as a fad? I think the BOA show design is more influenced from drum corps than anything else. A lot of designers that write drum corps shows do the exact same thing for the BOA stuff. As far as BOA just being a fad or anything like that, no, I think this is kind of how it is now. I can see it getting more elaborate and programs taking more and more risks with electronics and visual designs and music ideas and whatnot. WGI Percussion and Winds it really hasn't caught on in the state of Texas as much as it as much as I had hoped, and it's kind of been that way for a long time. And there's different reasons why that's happened, and to each their own. No worries there. This is the second part to this question. How does WGI Winds fit in with marching and UIL concert seasons and high school band? Well, if it's anything like when I was observing it back in my high school, remember my senior year, we did an indoor drumline show for the very first time, and they did very well, like successfully well, like world champion, like they won Scholastic World Championships that year, right out of the gate. I remember the schedule. Now, I wasn't a part of it. I did not participate in that drumline show, but when I say I went to every rehearsal, I mean I went to every rehearsal. It was my final semester of high school. I basically didn't take very many classes because I had all my credits done. So I would take my homework into the gym, and I'd do it for like 30 minutes and then watch them rehearse. And it was pretty awesome. They usually rehearsed for like 4 hours once or maybe twice a week, something like that, from like 6 to 10 p.m. And that's kind of how it is. You can't. That's probably one of the reasons why WGI Winds really hasn't taken off. A lot of programs have not really embraced it because it's another ensemble that you got to worry about. And then you got to worry about rehearsal time, and then you got to, I got to reserve space in the gym, and I got to coordinate with the athletics department to get that done. And, if you have a winter guard, you got to, facilities become a challenge when you keep adding ensembles that require a gym or another facility to rehearse it. So that's one challenge to it. Another challenge, like I said, it's another ensemble. You've got concert sight reading, you've got solo and ensemble, you've got young artist competition that a lot of schools have started doing now. So it's difficult to get that. It's just difficult to put all that stuff on there. I wish it would have taken off more than I would have liked, but it happens. So you're probably looking at 1 or 2 rehearsals a week, maybe on the high side 2 rehearsals a week to try to get that show done. All right, thank you for sending that in. What do I got next? What would you like to see the boosters, aka band parents, do for the programs? 2 things: support your program and support other programs. Band booster, like I've said before, band booster organizations are so important. They're so important. It's so crucial to have not just a booster organization that can go out to local businesses, go out and raise money, go out and put on events and fundraisers and whatnot. It's important to get that done. Of course, every band program needs money in order to put on a show and survive and be successful. I get that. But simply just being there at practice, being there to volunteer at football games. Remember, a lot of band programs run the concession stands at football games. So when you're buying a Chick-fil-A sandwich or you're buying a hot dog, you're buying nachos, that money goes directly to the band program. They've negotiated, and that's a really slick idea, negotiating their way into creating a fundraiser essentially every week during the season, which is great. Love seeing that stuff. But simply just being there for your kids, that is something, to speak on a personal note, that is something I wish I had more of in my family when I was marching. Like, Mom would occasionally volunteer to do concessions at football games, but other than that, like, they didn't really go to contests. And they didn't really, I mean, Mom would stop by when I was a senior. My little niece was like, gosh, how old was she? She was like 2 or 3 years old. And Mom would bring her by, and she liked it. She liked hearing the sounds, and she liked watching me wave my arms up in the air. But other than that, like, they weren't really involved. And part of it was they didn't really understand what the hell I was doing. They just, I mean, I've said it before, my parents are very old school parents. So when I told them I was joining the marching band, they just thought I was going to go to football games and do parades. That's literally what they thought I was going to do. They never thought, that I was going to go up to them and go, hey, I need like $850 to go to Grand Nationals. Oh, and I'm going to be missing like a week of school, and I'm not going to be here, and I'm going to jump on a plane and fly away, and you're not going to be there. That was a tough sell, to say the least. But yeah, to get back to the point, supporting your program with money, supporting it monetarily, yeah, that's one thing. But simply being there for your kids, asking them, hey, how was practice? They'll go, how was practice can be a 20-minute conversation. Because kiddos love to talk about their practice. Trust me, I hear about rehearsals all throughout the season about how it went. So I can promise you, they want to talk about this stuff because they think it's cool. And it's important for you, even if you don't know what the heck they're saying, it's important for you to be there for them and listen to them. And it helps them out so much. Because think about it, you have a kid who's in the marching band, who's doing music, but is kind of on the fringe, like, I'm not sure if this is really for me. If they're not getting the support at home, then they're going to end up dropping, or they're going to end up quitting, or they're going to end up doing something else. When, if you had just shown them a little bit more support, a little bit more caring, a little bit more understanding, maybe that turns into a music career. You never know. You never know what's going to motivate kids, what's going to trigger that light bulb in their head, and they go, hey, you know what, maybe I want to do this for the rest of my life. Maybe I want to go teach. Maybe I want to go perform. So it's important, support your program monetarily, but also volunteer and just be there for the kids. Do what you need to do. All right, what do I get next? I wish I was more organized. Okay. How do you think the use of different marching techniques, straight leg versus bent knee, can affect a band's performance, ability, and visual scores? There are drawbacks to both. Now, personally, I don't care what you march. I don't care if it's straight leg or bent knee. I remember we did, what did we do in high school? I want to say we did modified with both. Like marching backwards was straight leg. Marching backwards was absolutely straight leg. Moving forward was a little bit more bent knee. Personally, I have zero preference. However, the judges are looking for consistency. They don't care whether you're marching backwards. They don't care whether you're straight leg or your knees bent or whatever. If there are different techniques being demonstrated by different kids that are lined up right next to each other, the judge is going to sit there and go, okay, what technique are we just demonstrating here? What are we trying to establish? What's the technique here? And if they can't tell what you guys are trying to do, they can't tell whether you're doing straight leg or bent knee, you're in big trouble. When you go down to the individual visual scores. A lot of programs, I mean, I hear it at the end of the season. Why I don't understand why our scores were so low. And immediately, kids want to talk about general effect. I hate talking about general effect with kids because you take the wrong information from the scores. You got to look at the individual stuff first. A lot of individual visual scores go down simply because there is no consistency from player to player, from marcher to marcher. So that's something that's super important. Judges are looking for consistency. They don't care what you're doing. But if it's not consistent from person to person, there's going to be issues. All right, what do I got next? Can you post a video of you playing oboe? Somebody already did that. It is on YouTube. You want to look up Winston Churchill 2002 Marching Band Show. I'm there. I was the drum major that year. You can see me waving my arms. You can see me playing my horn in a mediocre way. I've already been memed a couple of weeks ago by one of those damn Instagram accounts. Same person probably runs 10,000 of them. What do we got here? So yeah, if you want to see me go play my horn at a mediocre level, you can look that up on the internet. How do you see marching band contests changing in the future? It's hard to tell. I mean, we seem to be in a pretty good place now in terms of how contests are run. I'll throw this out there. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a small school contest and a large school contest, just to kind of split things up. It's very difficult for a small school to go to Grand Nationals and get into finals. Now, they can win their class. They can get Class A, Class 2A, but it's difficult when you get to 3A and 4A because those are your heavy hitters. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bands of America went to just decide, hey, we're gonna do on consecutive weekends, we're gonna do a large school contest, and for 3A, 4A, and we're gonna do a 1A, 2A national championship. Now I don't have any inside information on that, but I could see that happening. I'm trying to think about what could possibly change from that. There could be just modify. I'm thinking little things are just going to get modified. Little things to the judging system. One thing that I would love to see. And I've been advocating this for years and years and years and years. I want there to be less points on the general effect sheet. I think 60-20-20 is, personally, I think it's too much. I think 30-30-40, 30 music, 30 visual, and 40 general effect, I think that's a nice balance. Kind of go with how DCI kind of has it. It's a little bit more split instead of over half of your points are coming from people that are sitting in the press box or even further back, depending on what stadium, depending on how massive the stadium is. I've said that for years. It's kind of been something that's kind of a human truth for me. I've been saying it for a very, very long time. I would love to see that happen. I don't know if it will, but hey, we can hope. We can wish and hope. As far as procedures and stuff like that, I think we're pretty okay with how things are kind of run. And you can already kind of see the winds changing a little bit. I mean, you've got a couple of other national championships that are taking place in the, you've got Director's Choice that decides to get into the marching band business and still trying to figure out who's getting the soul of U.S. bands and what they're going to do with it, and whoever takes control of it, what are they going to do with it here in the state of Texas? So I can see there being more organizations going, hey, you know what? Maybe we will start up something and put a national championship out there and see who shows up, and then programs are going to have to make a decision of what they want to do. And of course, it's going to vary. The philosophy is going to vary from person to person. Do I have anything else? I don't think I do. Boosters, WGI, locations, whatnot. Yeah, I think I'm done. Yep, that's what I've got. So that's good stuff there. Thank you all so much for sending those things in. Like I said, I just wanted to be a little bit more opinionated and see, what popped up and what came out of my mouth. So hopefully I didn't offend anybody too much. So we're done there. Great stuff. Thank you so much. And if you've liked that, if you like what was just said and whatnot, maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll do one like once a month or something, or once every couple of weeks, depending on how well this episode goes. Real quick before I go, tons of stuff going on for WGI stuff. I'm not going to be able to go into any events this week because I got to make money and stuff. Tons of stuff with TCGC. You've got at Cedar Ridge, you've got the East and West championships. They actually break it down by zone with TCGC. You've got Cadet, Novice, and JV championships West at Cedar Ridge High School. You got Cadet, Novice championships East at Cypress Park High School. You also have Cypress Falls and Cypress Park also have Regional A, and then any classes above, they're going to be doing stuff. So good luck at those championships for the Novice and Cadet classes over there. What else do I got? I know NTCA's got Cadet Novice championships coming up this weekend, so good luck to you all there. WGI is going to have the WGI Dallas Regional That's percussion regional. That's going to be happening at Burleson Centennial High School this weekend. So if you're in the area, I suggest you go and check that out. That is going to be on flowmarching.com, so make sure to grab a subscription and watch all that fun stuff there. I know there are programs traveling out of state. They're going to Paso programs are going to Arizona for the regional WGI regional out there. I know there's programs going to Oklahoma and going to I think there's Tennessee as well. So be safe, getting out there, have fun, enjoy it, and make sure to represent the state pretty well. I'm done here. I will talk to you next week with some other crazy ramblings. I'm getting hungry. I'm going to go have some hamburgers, and I will talk to you next week. Take care. Adios. Bye-bye.